Hello everybody and welcome to another Thursday video. As always, my name is Sam and I'm glad that you're here. One announcement before we get into anything today on my channel. Link to that is in the description down below. I'm getting rid of some booster boxes of Amonkhet for $87. Now, supplies are limited. You don't have to be a sub. You don't have to do anything like that. All you have to do is you got to get in contact with me in the comment section down below on this or on my channel, something like that. I'll send you an email. We figure it out. I think the first 8 are going to get a box. The way the box is going to work is I'm going to open them either on my channel or here. We haven't figured out all those details yet, but there'll be a box opening video, so no shenanigans are happening, and I will ship you all the mythics, rares, uncommons, foils, whatever you want, basically. If you want the entire box shipped, maybe an extra $1 or $2 to ship the whole thing, but $87 should cover the entire thing. I did about 4 of them last time. Everyone had a good time last time, so hopefully we do it again. I have about 8 to give away, so I'm excited to announce that. So today, the big news is the spoilers, Gideon, Liliana, and then we'll talk a little bit about the gods. So first, I wanted to talk about Gideon of the Trials, a 3 mana, 3 loyalty planeswalker with a 0 mana emblem and a +1 and another ability. This card is crazy. I don't know if we should get all up in arms about it like everyone else is, but what I will say is the card's definitely powerful. I mean, it attacks like almost every Gideon does. The emblem's a little interesting. We haven't really seen a mechanic like this before. If Gideon is on the battlefield, then it does something very powerful. If Gideon is not on the battlefield, it doesn't do anything. The +1 is pretty cool, just preventing damage. It seems like most of the Gideons have had a +1 where you either have to attack Gideon or something like that. So the +1 definitely fits into that. The +1 and the first 0 are like standard Gideon abilities. The emblem is the interesting part. Now, as long as you control Gideon, the emblem says, you can't lose the game and your opponents can't win the game, which is weird. I don't know how strong this is. I mean, the thing is that most of the time, if you just have a planeswalker on the battlefield for a few turns, you're not losing anyways. You're just going to get enough advantage. This card also seems to me to slot more into aggro decks, where the 4/4 beater is a big body, so I don't really know why you need that ability. It's probably just really good in races and stuff. You can't die while Gideon's on the battlefield. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to be used yet. One thing to note is that if you have this and 4 mana Gideon, ally of Zendikar, on the battlefield, you have to choose one to keep, so you can't like curve one into the other per se. So things could get dicey, but definitely a strong card. Now, Liliana, Death's Majesty, 3 and 2 black for a 5 loyalty walker. +1, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. Definitely a very powerful +1. You're obviously trying to set up some graveyard synergistic stuff. You also get a blocker. The +1 on planeswalkers is, you know, most of the time a way for them to defend themselves, that they can use their second tier ability and then also hopefully get to their ultimate. So the second tier ability is -3, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That creature is a black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. So you use your +1, you get a 2/2, you put something good in your yard, and then you -3, get it out of your yard. Of note, if you +1, you can then -3 twice. So out of 1 5 mana Liliana, you may be able to get 2 5 mana, 6 mana, 7 mana creatures onto the battlefield and a 2/2. So that is some insane value. The -7, destroy all non-zombie creatures. Now, this is only turn 3, so you play Liliana, you plus it, you make a 2/2, right? You trade off that 2/2, you block with it, you have some other stuff on the battlefield. Maybe you're playing the control mirror. You then plus it again, you make another 2/2, and all of a sudden you're ready to -7. Now, you probably want to +1 one more time so Liliana's still on the battlefield after all of that, but that is a way to use her. So overall, I love both of these designs. I think they fit in different decks. I don't think they're universally powerful. I really, really like where WotC went with this design. I do not think they went overboard with Gideon, although 3 mana walkers are notoriously finicky, right? So it's going to be hard to get the power level right there. I hope they got it right. I don't think we'll really know until the rest of the set is spoiled and we can start testing standard. That being said, I've seen a lot of cries to like boycott WotC, boycott draft. Like, we do not need to go that far. Come on, let's see what happens. If after the first week the best deck is the white weenie deck because they get to play 8 copies of Gideon, sure, we can figure it out from there, but let's calm down. So the last 2 things I wanted to talk about today were the gods. We have the blue one right here, Kefnet the Mindful, a 5/5 for 3 mana, flying, indestructible. Kefnet the Mindful can't attack or block unless you have 7 or more cards in your hand. For 4 mana, you can draw a card, then you may return a land you control to its owner's hand. So the may return a land is weird. Maybe there are going to be some lands that do things when they enter the battlefield, or most likely you're going to want to return a cycling land and then draw an extra card with that, right? Cycle it into a card in the late game. So that's kind of a cool ability as well. I kind of predicted this on a show we did earlier with Alex earlier this week, or maybe last week, I don't exactly remember, where I said that I thought the blue god was going to be the similar ability, but that you were going to get to attack with it if you had 5 cards or more. 7 seems really, really hard to do, but then again, you are getting a 3 mana 5/5 flying indestructible creature, so they can't make it too easy to attack. Now, I also like the red one, Hazoret, I'm not sure, the Fervent, 4 mana for a 5/4 indestructible haste, can't attack or block unless you have 1 or fewer cards in hand. 3 mana, discard a card, Hazoret deals 2 damage to each opponent. So very cool in EDH multiplayer game type things where it is each opponent, so that's pretty cool. I think the restriction on this is much more doable than the restriction on the blue one. Your red aggro decks often are going to have 1 or less cards in hand. That's just, you know, a truth. And you go 1 drop, 2 drop, 1 drop, 2 drop. This next turn you can sometimes attack with it, so that's pretty cool. If you're on a mulligan or on the play, it's much easier just to attack with it on turn 4. I also think the ability is great, being able to get rid of those lands, adding some reach even if you cannot attack with it. So I really like the design of both of these gods. I assume the white one's going to make the token. I assume the black one might like make an opponent discard a card or sacrifice a creature or something. The green one might like give some ability like trample or reach or something like that. So we have some way to go. The green one could also make a token. The white one could gain life. Anything like that. Lots of options here. Anyways, definitely enjoying this set so far. Really looking forward to it. If you want a box for 87 bucks, again, just let me know in the comment section down below. Go let me know on the video I just made on my channel. So just do something like that. We'll get you hooked up. Thank everybody so much for watching, and I'll see you next Wednesday.